All right, well, after an IT delay, which I sense will delay us further mid-meeting, I'd like to call to order the Thursday's December 14th, 2023 meeting of the Mashpee Sewer Commission. If I could ask everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If we could please observe a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Before we go into our meeting, is there anyone here that has business before this commission? No worries, thank you. That is not on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll begin with the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I have read the minutes and found them to reflect what we did at our last meeting, and I move that we approve them.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. All right, we'll now proceed with the construction update from GHD. Unless you guys need another minute and they're having IT issues too.
I'm not sure how to hook in. I can still help. I had the circle of death going, but it's fast.
Hold on, we're working on Meredith right now.
Meredith, can you hear us?
One issue at a time.
Now she's gone.
I heard someone click it.
Meredith joined as a guest.
Madam Vice Chair, are you on the line?
She's got to connect to the video, not the audio.
We're calling her from my office.
I appreciate it.
We'll get her on this.
Thank you very much.
Oh, there's
We see it.
All right, so if you, so you can't
Next.
do both.
Can't.
Well,
Should I join this?
the best thing to do is,
Should I do them?
with your permission, Mr. Chair, the challenge with the Zoom is Meredith will not be able to see the presentation unless Sandy's in the Zoom and shares her screen. So we can do that and then plug in your computer. Or we don't need to change the plugin. We can just, we need to get her in the Zoom
Okay.
and then share the screen,
Okay.
and then everyone will see it up there.
Okay.
Does that work?
How do I
Do you
do
have access to
Absolutely.
Zoom?
Yeah, Zoom.
Let me have Karen send you the link,
Okay.
and then we will get you in. Apologies, Mr. Chair. We'll be right back.
We appreciate the help.
Maybe on the next item on the agenda.
Well, I don't want to leave Meredith out of the website discussion review.
no. How about number 3?
And do we have any discussion regarding the special election outcome that thankfully went in our favor?
It did go in our favor. I
Rather
appreciate it.
decisively so.
Yes, we did. I didn't hear any opposition. Well, I don't listen to news anyway, so. The only thing I heard in the negative response was that there were people in town who either just didn't vote or they voted against it because they did not want everybody to perceive that that vote would be an open checkbook for the town to do whatever. And they did not like this, even thought that it would be perceived as an open checkbook. And so a no vote wasn't so much against the sewer, but it was against the possibility of irresponsible financing or non-existent financing.
Well, it's an understandable concern. This is a project that is, I'm fond of saying, is as expensive as it is necessary. And I would entertain any concerns from the public as to that nature in the fairest and most understood demeanor possible. I get it. I really do. And their houses haven't even started shaking yet with the new construction, as we've enjoyed. All right, any other discussion on the special election? All right, have we fixed our audio, visual?
I just spoke with Meredith. She did call in, but she wasn't getting the audio. I just got in, got out, and she's gonna call back in.
She's giving up her hands. She must be hearing you.
Is Meredith the only one zooming in?
Yes. Yes.
And now, isn't Sandy?
Who has Meredith's phone number?
I do.
Anyone?
Yes.
Thank you for the help.
Are you ready?
Yes.
508 367 1674 is her cell.
Gonna ring loudly, so apologies to everybody.
Okay,
There you are.
Can you hear us now?
okay, I can, thank you,
All right, Sandy, let me get you situated now.
sorry.
No, not at all. What we're going to do is have GHD enter the conference so they can share their screen and you can see it.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. We briefly discussed the special election. Did you have anything to add?
Nope, I'm glad that it went through, so it's good.
Very good. All right, with that, we'll hand it over to GHD.
Okay. Well, I tried to minimize the pictures up there, so, but I guess we'll live with it. Minimized on my screen. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes?
Okay. So I'm here, of course, to talk about the construction of the Phase 1 collection and treatment plant improvements. Just a reminder, I did not join a meeting, you didn't have a meeting at the end of November, so this is the first time you've seen anything since October. So it's been about a month and a half. I'll start with the water resource reclamation facility, or the treatment plant. So basically, in the last 2 months, we've been closing up the buildings. So they're above grade, and closing up the doors, windows, putting on vapor barrier, and the insulation to get ready to put siding up. So for the process building, oh, that will help. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. For the process building, they've been mostly working on the exterior. They've been doing a lot of work on the exterior. So again, that's a picture of the process building that's a couple of weeks old, but still. And then you see the roof trusses that have been put in place on top of the building. That roof is now installed. So if you go out there now, you're going to see your antique bronze metal roof on top of that building. Inside, all the rooms have been constructed. That's the UV room on the left-hand side. The planks are over the UV channels so nobody hurts themselves. Downstairs, they started taking a few select pieces of equipment and storing them in the basement. That happens to be one of the boilers. And then what's being hid in there, as you can see, they're starting to do some metals work by installing the stairwells that go down from the grade level to the basement. This contractor is self-performing the metals, so most of the stuff is being fabricated on site. Plumbers in there. On the left, you can see the plumber working down in the basement with some of the floor drains from the grade level floor. And on the right, you see the plumbing going into the blower room. The process tanks, not a lot of concrete work. They're pretty much done with concrete, but they've been continuing their hydraulic testing of the structures. And then as the structures are successfully tested, they're backfilled. So if you go out there from week to week, you'll see that the ground level is rising, that we're actually getting the site to grade. For the preliminary treatment building, the roofing is complete, the vapor barrier and installation is complete, siding will be installed probably in both buildings in December and January, so you'll have a cedar shingle type look to your buildings. It's hardy plank, but they're constructed to look like your cedar shingles. Inside, the ceiling, you can see the ceiling insulation is installed, and they're going to be beginning to put this ceiling will be an FRP ceiling, so it's a plywood ceiling that's got an FRP skin on it, because this building of them all is probably the most corrosive. It carries raw wastewater and the sewer gases. Although it's ventilated, we want to protect your building. And again, metal steps are being fabricated. They put the wooden planks down so that you can actually use them because the treads aren't in yet. Out in the site, the work continues. We're coming up to grade, and they're even still continuing to put yard piping. That happens to be HDPE piping it's a plastic piping that they're installing, the picture on the right. For the collection system north, in November, they were doing miscellaneous testing, or actually in October, but they did no major work in November. In fact, we did not receive an application for payment from Robert B. Auer in November. So they're pretty much done with this project until the spring. For the north project, this is the one with the pumping stations. They're not planning any work. I'm sorry. No, this is still the north project, not the pump station one. The Sea Oaks is on hold for now. They'll be starting to do High Sachem Road paving in the spring, and same thing with Asher's Path. They may start that in January. Here's the south system with the pump stations. So in October and into November, they were completing the Quiniquisette Avenue gravity sewer system and Mashpee Neck Road. What's coming up for this project linear-wise is Orchard Road. That will probably start in mid-January. That'll take about 6 to 8 weeks to construct. Lift stations have seen some improvements. The picture on the lower left is where we were a month ago. They had the vapor barrier insulation installed, had the building wrapped, and then I don't think I can move that, but on the right side, you'll see it on the next one, there's the building as of yesterday. So we've got the cedar shingle siding is up, the roof is installed, the trim work is done. There, that's better. This is Mashpee Neck Road, similar. On the right this time is what the station looked like a month ago, and on the left is what was in place yesterday. So you can see the cedar shingle siding and some of the trim work. Now that siding's not complete yet. They had to return some of the siding that was damaged, so it'll get buttoned up in the next couple weeks. So where are we on progress and cash flow? Starting with the plant itself, we are about 423 days into a 790-day contract, so we're over 50% time-wise, about 41% spent. Any questions on the cash flow? On the North project, they haven't processed any change orders yet. The contract value at $5.2 million. This is a shorter time frame project. We're 423 days into a 679-day project, or about 62% complete. They are much further along in their actual work, though. The flatness in the white line is due to the fact that they haven't done a lot of work in the last month. So they didn't invoice last month. And to be honest, I'm missing one invoice for November, which I'll correct next month. Any questions on this one? Okay. And this is the south project. This is the one with the pump stations. This has the same time frame as the treatment plant, 790 days. So they too are 54% along in time. They're about 66% complete in billings. And you'll see this number keep going up as they're building the pump stations. They start getting equipment in. Their linear work is well in hand, but this is what we expected for the pump stations to be built in this time frame. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Southern project seems to be ahead of schedule by a bit.
What's that?
The project in the south would
Yeah.
appear to be well ahead of schedule.
Yeah, it started slow, we noted, because they put all their effort into the north project. They had both contracts, so they just started with the north, and then they moved over to the south, and it caught up, yeah.
Right. I would like to compliment Robert B. Hour on their conduct on Quiniquisette. My neighbors included have enjoyed their foreman being very forthright and friendly and coordinating with them for their driveways being blocked. So I appreciate that.
I'll pass that on. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you much.
Stop
But Sandy,
sharing.
before we let you go, could you update us on where GHD stands on a proposal to finish up Phase 1?
The contract for Phase 1, that where we're picking up the alternate rebids?
Yes.
Yes, that project is this close to being ready to hit the street. They're looking at putting a structure on the pump station site, and I should hear something next Monday. So we hope to get it on the street after the first of the year.
Thank you.
What do you mean by a structure?
Similar to the ones I showed you pictures of, it would be but it'd be smaller. It's a shed-like structure to house the electrical equipment. The current design
An
had them on
electric shed?
panels.
Is that what you're referring
Basically a
to?
shed, yeah.
Fine. Okay.
Ventilated. Electrical equipment there. We want to make sure it gets air.
Very good.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your time.
I'm going to stop sharing. And I probably will leave.
Meredith, you back with us?
Yes,
Hey, we finally heard your voice.
thank you.
So if there's no other discussion on the construction update, we'd like to move back to the website revision and review. Meredith, did you have anything you wanted to discuss about the ongoing work on the website?
No, there were just a few more tweaks that needed to be added to it, but Catherine and Karen and I were working on them. And especially now that Mr. Meter is on board, we'll be able to continue working on them.
Great, thank you. All right, let's move down to item 4, discussion and consideration of a plan to develop a written guide for new incoming commissioners. And while that speaks for itself, item was added by our vice chair, and I'd like to give her the floor to lay out her proposal.
The proposal was really just an idea. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Yeah, so the idea was because all of us who have come on board with over the last several years, we all had to scramble in different ways in trying to connect with different members of the commission. And Evan Blair had shared with me a guide that he had helped to develop for the planning commission. And so I thought it would be a good idea if we could form some type of a subcommittee to develop a planning guide or a guide for the commissioners. For new commissioners and for those who might want to have a review of what they need to do and how they need to do it. So one might be to come up with a list of topics that we need to include in it, and the other would be what specific areas or things we need to read or review, and just a reminder of open meeting law and about our roles and responsibilities.
My suggestion was going to be we include the meeting rules and etiquette of our meetings as well. I know we did that for the Conservation Commission. when I was active part of that. So I think this is a great idea, and I'm happy to be on that subcommittee with you.
Excellent. Do we have others who want to be a part of it?
Does anyone else want to be, have some time to spare to be part of this, or?
I have time to spare at this time of year, as long as
Okay.
this isn't a project that takes, 3, 4, 5 months.
How about March and April?
No.
Well, there you have it. We're your people.
Excellent. All right, so we can at least get started with an email to start to generate some topics that we feel need to be on it, and I'll volunteer to start writing it, to put it together as we come up with the ideas. So thank you very much for people volunteering.
Thank you. I have someone in the audience. Please speak your piece. Say your name for the record.
Chair Meter, wastewater superintendent. Meredith, I just wanted to let you know I have been going through all the filing cabinets. I did find an old, very old version of what you're looking for. Started going through it last night, making sure everything's up to date as far as, it does a lot of the referencing to the powers of the commissioners and where they come from, what mass general laws and so forth. So I'm just going through and making sure everything's up to date because of how old it was, and I was going to bring it before the board, but I'll just get it to you and present it to you, so maybe to help you out what you're trying to do.
Terrific. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you. Other questions and comments? All right, now if there is no other business before the commission,
Make a motion
to
to close the meeting?
I'll second that.
all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. And thank you to our town planners scrambling to help with our IT snafus.